A couple of other stocks which are there on editor's radar. It's Dixon Tech as well as IDFC First Bank. Nikunj, both of these stocks have seen a massive rally, right? Let's start with Dixon Tech. That entire, phase of electronic manufacturing has been the darling of the market at this point of time. Do you think there are more legs to go for this one?
See, the long-term picture for electronic manufacturing and the manufacturing in India, I think still has a long way to go. I think it is just at an incubation stage. I may not be surprised that this really could be the mega trend for many decades to go. But markets are markets. They tend to always preempt and overreact in the short term. Correct. So I think specifically when it comes to Dixon, look, they had a bit of a challenge same time last year and the stock came down, but it is up 62% now. Yeah. Remember, this is not like a 30% return on equity business.
Yeah, the margins are
very thin. Ultimately, it's a business where the top line is great, but margins in a sense are very limited because that's the nature of the business you are in. So my limited point here is that after a 62% run up from the low and a 16% run up this year, the stock is trading way above its 5-year average. Yeah. When a stock is trading way above its 5-day average, the limited re-rating is not there unless the business is changing. See, I can argue and say that if the country, like Praj, the business changed. For Dixon, the business is only going to expand, but margins are not going to change in a dramatic manner. So if the valuations are way above the 5-year average, and if you look at the P multiples right now, I think there is case for Dixon now to hit a pause button.
Is that going to be the case for IDFC First Bank as well? Because that too has been on a massive rally of its own, while the rest of the banking names have been underperforming. This one has been sitting at life high levels.
I think this one, IDFC Bank has got its mojo back.
Yeah.
It's one of those banks which has created a strong CASA. I think the return ratios are strong. The entire NP is not a problem for them. And they've demonstrated the ability to turn around by using technology and the advantage of big data. So I think this is just the beginning of IDFC, which in a sense, post the merger, they've struggled because of legacy issues. I think now they are in a fine fettle, and at a time when medium banks or mid-sized banks have really struggled to get liability franchise, they've not disappointed on that front. Now you may argue and say that it is above the 5-year average, but the difference between Dixon and IDFC Bank is that I see incremental jump in earnings for IDFC Bank, and I see a lot of visibility for FY24 and 25. It will outperform the sector, and within the sector it has a low base, so I think it has a long way to go. It may be at the most bullish consensus target, but the way I look at IDFC Bank is that I expect the earning estimates to be revised upwards. Okay. And for Dixon, I don't think they will be revised upwards. So it's both of them are outperforming stocks, but both of them are on the different ends of the spectrum.
Very interesting, because cycle is what really matters for stock prices, while Dixon Tech is towards, the fag end of the cycle and has already peaked out perhaps, at least for the near term. IDFC First Bank, Aisha, has more legs to go.